Hey guys, today I'm in another part of my house because I am currently sharing my room. So yeah, I don't really have the chance to keep recording there. So I'm in another room in my house, a little bit messy here, but images will appear in this section, so never mind. And yeah, sorry for changing the part of the frame where the pictures show up, but I'm just like mixing things up because I think it's boring to do the same thing all over and over and over and again. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about something that may be a little bit boring. This video will be a little bit too late for what I want to say, but I don't think it's never late to talk about this. And the subject is terror, or terrorism, if you will. To be honest, I won't be talking about like terrorism in the sense of history. I won't explain the origins of terror for you because this is not a history channel. This is not the history channel. So yeah, and the history channel only has like UFO stories, so whatever. But yeah, I'm from a country that has suffered a lot from terror. It's not like I know more than other people about the subject, but I know that I have lived some things that other people haven't, and I know that people here in Colombia go through things differently than in other parts of the world. For example, you know that recently there have been a lot of terror attacks in London and in Europe in general, to be honest. It's not like they don't know what it is to be attacked. After all, in the Second World War, London and many European cities were bombarded and harassed by the Nazis, and the Nazis even were harassed by the Allies too. If you can look up Dresden, if you will, in Wikipedia, you will know. But the thing is that they know how this feels, but maybe it happened a long time ago, and maybe the new generations don't really know what it is to feel fear like that. And I don't. I have to clarify this. I'm not saying that they should know what that's like, because really no one should know what that's like ever in life, because it's awful. And in my country, for example, we grew up. I mean, the generation that's young today, and even the little kids, have grown hearing about terrorist attacks and have heard about guerrillas or guerrillas, and have learned about the paramilitaries, and they have learned about what it's like for the indigenous peoples, African people descended from African slaves, basically, and other groups of people that have been seen their land taken away from them, and harassment to communities. I mean, we have massacres. I mean, we have had it all in this country. Everything awful that could happen in any part of the world has happened here in Colombia in the last 60 years. I mean, people like to say this kind of civil war. I mean, if you say civil war here, people will slap you in the face because they don't consider it civil war, but it kind of is and it kind of isn't at the same time. The point is, it has been going on for 60 years and it hasn't ended yet, to be honest, because yes, one of the armed groups has negotiated with the government, but the other hasn't, and there are little forces that haven't been taken into account, and then there are paramilitary groups, which are right-wing groups, and those are even harder to get, because they have protection from some parts of the country. So, and the other did also have had protection from some parts of the country. So it's really difficult. It's a really awful situation. We have heard about bombs in everywhere, and I'm doing this video because I'm recording this on Monday the 19th. This will go on Tuesday the next week. But yeah, and last Saturday, so that will be Saturday the 17th of June, there was an explosion in a mall here, one of the most exclusive malls, if you will. I mean, they have like Louis Vuitton store, and they have like an Omega store, and lots of really high-end products. And no one really knows by this point, someone introduced a bomb into one of the women bathrooms, and put it behind a, I don't know if it was a sink or it was like the toilet itself, but well, it exploded and it killed three people, three women, of course, because it was the women's bathroom, and it injured another bunch of people that were in that area, in the bathrooms. I mean, you just go there to pee, and women go there to, have their makeup on, and they spend a lot of time there, and there are children. I mean, children often, in that mall, they have family bathrooms, but many women will take their child to the women's bathroom because it's like more practical. So it's really awful that it happened. I actually, and I tell you this because I was 3 blocks away when it happened, and I really didn't realize it had happened because, some people said it was really loud, but I didn't hear anything. I was buying. My mother actually was buying something for my father because it was the day before Father's Day, so we were just by there, and there's another mall like 2 blocks away, so we were there. We had parked the car there, and then my dad was complaining. I just remembered my dad was complaining that people were kind of slow and people were like distracted, and he was like, "Oh my God, people are so distracted when driving." And that I think about it, maybe those people had heard something had happened, and they were like worried, so they were very distracted. Not that is a justification, but that makes sense. So it's kind of weird, And when I was in college, for example, they put a bomb. Where was it? It was like in a bus stop or something. No one was seriously hurt, I think. The bus stop was destroyed and many glasses, shattered and everything. But I remember that I was going to the university and the bus had to take like a long detour, and I had to walk a lot to get to the university, and I didn't really know what happened, but I know it was something bad. So when I got to the university, I just got onto internet and I was like, oh fuck, something happened. And yeah, that has happened. I remember every single, I think every Colombian remembers when the big terrorist attacks happened, where they were when those things happened. In the 80s, it was even worse. Entire buildings were bombed and people killed left and right. So, it's a thing we have learned to live with. And I don't know if it's healthy to have learn to live with that. And our response is really different, I think, from the European countries, because you see the European countries, uniting, and they cry, and it's a shock for them. And in this country, yes, of course, you're not like, yes, this is normal every day. No, it's not that. It's that the response inside of your head is that this has happened before, so we don't really worry as much as we used to in the 70s, for example, or as people in Europe worry. We don't really do that anymore. Yes, people went to the mall yesterday and they opened it and the president was there and people light up candles because you have to respect the people that died, and that's all very nice, and that happens too, and that's like in other countries in the world. But the emotional response, it's really different from people in other countries. We have been made to not feel as much as we should, I think, in these cases. And it can be good, because our country is so violent that if we felt awful and we felt everything every time something happens, we would be just dead of grief by this point. So maybe it's a good thing in that sense. But yeah, of course, people from other countries are like, oh, you have like a weird response to that, and it's like, yeah, I grew up in a country where I heard about these things every single time, and it's not even that bad. In the sense that people have lived through worst in smaller towns. People have lived through massacres, have lived through someone throwing bombs at churches and someone shooting at people like on the streets. People have suffered that here, and worst. So there are so many awful things that I won't even say in this video, but there are things that we have seen and we have learned, and some people in Colombia even try to deny those things happen because it's easier for them to live that way. and it's understandable, but you have to acknowledge those things happen. So it's I just wanted to talk in this video about those differences, those, those, that way of living we have here, and in other countries it's different. I mean, I do feel it's different, and I know many people from Colombia will comment down below that I'm wrong, and that things are not like I'm saying, but I do feel that things are like that because we feel different. It's not that we don't care about it, we just care in a different way, and we have been made that way because of our history. And I mean, I think that's understandable. Not, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's obvious why. Let's say, and I just want also to say that I think it's also sad that, for example, 3 people were killed here. One was a foreign person. Not that that matters because lives are lives, but yeah, that happened. And in the world, I think only Latin American countries, and not even all Latin American countries, and France, because the person was from France, only those countries like wrote something in their papers, newspapers, or care at all to show it in their news, television news. The rest of the countries didn't give a fuck. I mean, for example, CNN in Spanish, yes, because it's Latin American, but CNN, the normal one, didn't give a shit about what happened here. BBC didn't give a shit. I mean, even news from China reported this. Even news from Russia reported this. And the big countries, the ones that are, that support us, apparently, didn't give a shit about this. So, do only victims in Paris and London matter and the rest of the world doesn't? I mean, I do sometimes feel that. And I always feel like they do a big thing when there's a shooting in the United States. There's a shooting every fucking day. But, that has to be reported. And here, there have been fewer and fewer and fewer of these things happening. I mean, this one shocked people because it hadn't happened in a while, in a big while to civilian people. And no one reported that ever because no one acknowledges that we are going through a different time here in our country. A very turbulent time, but a very different time, I think. So I think that's sad that, the world doesn't acknowledge fuck about what we do. And only a few countries, because those countries have ties with us. I mean, of course, Venezuela or Ecuador or Panama or Mexico are going to say, oh, sorry for that. Yes, because they have lived through similar things, and also because they are our neighbors and they negotiate with us and they have, things with us. But the rest of the world was like, oh, okay, again, whatever. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, but perception of other countries is really fucked up right now in the world. So that's a very interesting subject. And I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit. This video is a little bit crazy, and I don't even know what pictures I'm going to put in there. Maybe like abstract ones, but yeah, whatever. This video has taken a little bit too long. Thank you for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, please, and comment down below whatever you want. Thank you so much.